To be completely transparent with you, I'm not sure what I expected from Wuhan, but I certainly did not expect this. This freaking day. Good morning, guys. It is a beautiful day in Wuhan, China. The sky is blue. I am traveling around China, as you know, and I was in Nanjing. And when I realized that Wuhan is only about 2.5, less than 3 hours away by train, I decided to come here and explore it and see what the city is like. And for those of you that don't know, Wuhan is actually one of the ancient cities of China. It's a very old city. The history dates all the way back to like more than 3,500 years ago. So it has a lot of historical side, a lot of culture. There's actually so much to do here. When I was researching Wuhan, I figured that there's so many places that I would want to see here that I will definitely not have time to see them all. But that's the thing about Chinese cities, you know, they're just huge. And Wuhan is actually one of the biggest cities in China, or actually the 8th biggest city in China. The population is 13 million people, so yes, it's like half of the size of Shanghai where I used to live, but still, imagine 13 million people in one city. Okay, but the time has come. Let's go and explore. Can you see how windy it is? Can you see it? As soon as I went out of my hotel, I realized why Wuhan is nicknamed the Chicago of China. It is also very windy here, although I do not know if that's why they nicknamed Wuhan Chicago of China. Apparently it's because Wuhan, just like Chicago, is also a major, or especially back in the days, this name was actually given to Wuhan like more than 100 years ago. So it was the very first mention, one of the first mentions of Wuhan in Western American press. They called Wuhan the Chicago of China because it was also like a major business, industrial, and transportation hub of China, just like Chicago is in the States. So I am staying right here on Jianghan Pedestrian Street, and this is definitely a place I would 100% recommend to stay in Wuhan. It's a very long pedestrian street full of shops, restaurants, basically everything. A very convenient place to stay, and this street is actually so cool. It's so much more lively than I expected. To be fair, like, I really did not know what to like expect from Wuhan. Well, you have to be very careful of these motorbike drivers. They're reckless. They're gonna drive over you. This dude right there is currently doing a live stream. What is he gonna do? Is he gonna dance? Ooh. The first thing that really surprised me about Wuhan is something that I did not expect to see here, and that's the amount of European architecture. Like the buildings that you see behind me. So of course I did my research, and I've learned that Wuhan actually used to have quite some foreigners living here, and just like Shanghai had a couple of foreign concessions, like French concession, I think Italian, American as well. It was the same case here in Wuhan. So back in the days, over 100 years ago, Wuhan used to be, and still is, a very important business city, pretty much an industrial hub here in central China. And Wuhan was known for producing many things like textiles, silk, tea, steel. It's a port city, so there are also a lot of engineering companies here. And since so many things were produced here, that of course also attracted a lot of foreigners, a lot of business from outside of China. And that's why now there are a lot of buildings like this one in the city. Also, I already did something that might be considered... Hello. Hello. Hi. How are you? I'm fine, thank you. I did expect I will attract some level of attention. There are not many foreign tourists here. But so far everyone has been very nice, and also like it's not like I'm attracting that much attention. I do get a couple of stares. I do get a couple of stares here and there, but it's nothing too intense. When I told my Chinese friends that I want to go to Wuhan, their first reaction is, oh my god, you're gonna eat so much good food, because Wuhan is apparently known for a lot of good food. And number one thing Wuhan is popular for is their breakfast food. So I probably already did like something that would be considered a criminal offense here in Wuhan because I didn't have breakfast, because I don't like breakfast. I don't eat breakfast. And now I'm gonna do another criminal offense, or it's gonna be considered a criminal offense by, you know, like Westerners in the comment section. I'm gonna get myself coffee from Starbucks. Going to Starbucks is always like heavily criticized, and I get it. I could have been in like a traditional Chinese tea house now, but you know what we don't have in traditional Chinese tea house? Coffee. Okay, with my Starbucks in hand, I am ready to continue the journey. We're on our way to the most famous landmark of Wuhan, so the excitement is high. Also, this is like the hottest freaking day too for sightseeing. It's about more than 32 Celsius degrees today, so not ideal. I swear to god, this is like my 5th attempt to film that couple, because every time I try to film it, there's a Chinese auntie sort of just like ruining my shot, or maybe not ruining, maybe making it even more fun, but they just go in front of my camera. They do not care. Chinese aunties, they want to get that shot. And this building is a building that all the aunties like to have in their pictures from their holidays in Wuhan, apparently. It is a very beautiful building, as you can see. Also, there has been a slight change of plans. I remembered about a place that I bumped into yesterday called Wuhan River Beach Park, I think, that I quickly want to show you before we head to the most famous landmark in the city. She's sleeping because I want water. 你好. 多少钱? I need some water because it's so hot today. This is such a nice place. I found it yesterday when I was just walking around the city. So this is River Park by Yangtze River. It's a really nice place, especially in the evenings. Right now there are not that many people around because it's very hot, but in the evenings people come here with their families. There's a nice promenade over there where I've seen people running, renting those bicycles and biking around. I love how the security guards are also taking selfies with the view right now. To be completely transparent with you, I'm not sure what I expected from Wuhan, but I certainly did not expect this. So let's address the elephant in the room. Yes, Wuhan is a name that many people heard for the very first time in their life, and unfortunately a very sad and negative context of pandemic. I really feel like Wuhan has a lot to offer. It has beautiful old architecture, beautiful new architecture. Even I myself wasn't sure if coming here was a good idea. When I saw that Wuhan was so close to Nanjing, I was like, yeah, but is there a point? Is there even anything nice to see there? I don't know if should I go or shouldn't I? But honestly, I am so glad that I went, because I had no idea that Wuhan was such a lovely city, and it is just yet another proof in life that it's always good to get out there and see things for yourself. The location is also very nice. Since it's right by the river, you get that nature aspect. And honestly, right now I'm kind of considering extending my stay, because I also found out that a friend of mine is in town, so might be staying here for a day longer than I expected. And also we'll be coming back to this exact place later in the evening, because this is apparently a famous spot to watch, or a famous spot. I don't know if this is a famous spot, but somewhere here along the river, what you do in the evenings is that a lot of people come here to watch the light show. So I want to see that too. I'm not sure if you're able to spot it because they're quite small from here, but as you can see, there are people swimming in the river. river. So this river is Yangtze River, and it is actually the third longest river in the whole entire world, and the longest river that flows only through one country, which is China. I've read that it's like 6,000 kilometers, more than 6,000 kilometers long, so it basically starts, well, far away. So my OG plan was to actually take a metro, because Wuhan does have a very good public transportation system. I think there's like 12 metro lines here, so maybe even more. But the heat is making me really exhausted. So I will try taking a taxi, so we'll see how that goes. So I actually took a picture of that place I'm going to, just in case there's any like communication issue. I did study Chinese and I still can, you know, like say basic stuff, get around. So of course I do have that advantage over someone who has never, well, learned Chinese before. And I do love practicing my Chinese. Like I love seeing how much I can still remember. As you know, I haven't been to China for 5 years, so it's been a long time of me not using Chinese, so a lot has disappeared. But ever since I've been back, like, I'm actually shocked how much is still in there, how much of Chinese is like coming back to me as I hear it more and more around me. I did manage to get a cab, so we're on our way, and hopefully they're not closing like early, because sometimes temples in China do close quite early. So here's a little sneak peek of where we're going. Right now we're actually driving on the very first bridge that was built here on Yangtze River. Okay, so I actually gave you wrong information before. That was not the oldest bridge on Yangtze River. Now we're about to drive on the oldest bridge. My taxi driver was such a character. He spoke some English, so we had a conversation in my broken Chinese.
Speak English. Do you have a Polish dialect? Ha ha ha.
But I still don't fully understand what he meant by that, like Polish. Do I have, I'm not sure if he was asking me if I have Polish accent or if I speak Polish. It's a fail. I am so upset. So it turns out that even though the temple is open until 6 p.m, they stopped letting people in at 5, and it is 5. So I'm not gonna go in. That's really sad. Which is really a shame, because this is one of the 4 great towers of China. It's a beautiful temple, but yeah, I should have researched it. To be honest, I am obviously upset that I cannot see it, because I came all the way here. It did take a while. I think it was like a half-an-hour drive, but I feel like the drive itself was worth it, because my taxi driver was so funny. He was telling me so much about Wuhan. He was just sharing all kinds of random facts with me, like where should I go. He recommended me to take a ferry. The best moment was definitely when we were driving and all of a sudden he goes like, look, there's another Waiguren. Waiguren means a foreigner. I just saw another foreigner. My taxi driver actually pointed it out for me. The first foreigner I saw here in Wuhan. You know, I didn't see any foreigners since I arrived in Wuhan.
That's the bull.
And I was just like, oh yeah. Hey, Waiguren. To cheer myself up, I'm gonna attempt to find a street that is a famous snack street, like a famous street food street. I think I found this street, or at least I assume I found this street. You see that neon lights? So this street is called Hubu Alley, and as I told you, it is known for being the snack street, the street food street of Wuhan. And would you believe me if I told you that I haven't eaten today? Like, it's 6 p.m. This is crazy. I mean, it's not okay. But it just happens to me when I vlog and I get really excited. And today was like a really exciting day. It was a really good day. I was just like so happy to be here, running around, filming everything. And I did get hungry, but then I was like, oh, daylight. I have to take advantage of daylight, so. Oh my God, I already see my first purchase of the day. Ni hao. So I got myself some sugarcane juice because I freaking love sugarcane juice. Very sweet though. I I swear to God, I think Chinese are like the loudest nation on earth. No one yells as much as people, but that's great, good for me, because I always get told off for being too loud. So I got myself a nice bowl of noodles with some cheese, I think. She did add a whole lots of topping. I have some carrot, I have some cucumber, I have some stuff that I don't know what they are. Okay, let's try it. Really good. Very like fresh, cold noodles. So these little things that I said were chickpeas were definitely not chickpeas. They were hard, so I think there's some sort of nuts, so they're very crunchy. It was really good, and I've never been that into cold noodles, but this bowl, really enjoyed it. Another thing that I've noticed here that I think is really popular is something that I feel like you don't see that much in China, at least not the places I've been to, which is desserts. So that station that you see behind me, actually, that's also like a dessert station. So I haven't seen that many, like at least, well, I spent majority of my time in China, in Shanghai, and that's definitely not something I've ever seen there. Oh my God, look at this place. How cool is this street? And it just goes on and on. China is seriously like the land of food. The amount of different foods they have here that I've never even seen before. It's crazy. But obviously the thing about China is that it's so big, and each region, each city, each town has its own cuisine. So I really want to try to take a ferry to the other side of the river, as my taxi driver recommended to me. But I also do have a fear of like ending up in a different province instead of like on the other side of the river with my poor Chinese skills. The river is so big though. Okay, so this looks like a place where you buy tickets. But the question is, how do I make it to the right place? The problem is also that I don't exactly know what the right place is, so maybe I should figure that out too. So this is what it looks like at night. Pretty impressive, I do admit, taxi driver was right. Okay, so I just bought a ticket for 1.5 yuan, which is very little, so I have no idea where I'm going. I showed her the place on the map, and at first she was like, you know, but I think like saying that she doesn't understand, but I think she was just, you know, confused with me being a foreigner and confused with what do I want, what do I want to achieve here. So hopefully, I mean, I just want to make it to the other side of the, hopefully close to my hotel, because the city is huge. So as soon as the door opened, I literally like everyone started running. And I guess to like, you know, get the good spot, which I also got a good spot. I think that sunset is happening right now actually, so. I'ma just lay back and crack this window. Definitely see what the taxi driver was talking about. You do get a really cool view of the city from the boat. I mean, the buildings here are actually so gigantic. Look, you can actually get on the boat with your motorbike. So we're back here at Jianghan Pedestrian Road, and at night this city is popping. So many people, crowds actually, compared to what it looked like a couple of hours before. So much food, dancing ladies, everything basically. As you can probably see on my face, I am very tired, so my plan is to head back to my hotel now and figure out whether I can extend my stay, because if I can, I will stay here one more day. If I cannot be bothered to move to a new hotel. So we'll see.